Good evening. Enoch Powell, arguably the most controversial British politician since the Second World War, has died at the age of 85. He'd been suffering from Parkinson's disease. He was a brilliant scholar and parliamentarian who wouldn't compromise his passionate nationalist views. His fierce, many said inflammatory, opposition to coloured immigration in the 60s effectively ended his hopes of high office. Today, Lady Thatcher said he had been a moral compass, leading us in the right direction.
Enoch Powell was a man of great intellect, charm and humour, and yet he provoked a wave of hatred virtually unmatched in recent times. No front-rank politician has campaigned so vigorously against immigration, and Powell was openly branded a racist.
In this country, in 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man.
Powell was in a race to become party leader and Prime Minister, but fellow Tories watched him destroy his own chances.
He was quite clearly a politician of the first rank who never had a chance to fulfill his real potential, and part of that was his own fault.
He was a brilliant classical scholar at Cambridge, and during the war was the only private to climb to the rank of brigadier. A man of complex emotions, he once said he regretted having survived the war. In 1950 he began a long political career in Wolverhampton and a love affair with Westminster.
I fell head over heels under the spell of the House of Commons. I said, this is wonderful, this is what I want. The only thing worth having is to be a member of this place and to remain a member of this place.
He stood for the Tory leadership in '64 but came a poor third, and then served in Ted Heath's shadow cabinet. For 4 years he mounted a populist, inflammatory campaign against immigration.
We must be mad, literally mad as a nation, to be permitting the annual inflow of some 50,000 dependents who are for the most part the material of the future growth of the immigrant-descended population.
Later in the speech, in a part that wasn't filmed, he quoted the poet Virgil's warning of the river Tiber foaming with much blood. The Rivers of Blood speech, as it became known, sealed his fate. He was sacked by an angry Ted Heath, but others in the shadow cabinet took a different view.
I thought it was a conclusion jumped to far too rapidly if you looked at the logic and reason in his speech.
Public opinion was deeply split, but even among his opponents there were those who respected his integrity.
He put it in a way that undoubtedly stimulated a lot of very right-wing racist people, of whom he was not one. But that was a mistake. On the other hand, on the European community, he was very, very good, in my opinion. He saw this as a threat.
Indeed, Ted Heath's action in taking Britain into Europe led to Enoch Powell's final split with the Tories.
The harm he has caused to this country, first of all by his attack on people of other races, and secondly by advising people not to vote for a Conservative candidate, and thirdly by his work in Northern Ireland, is immense, absolutely immense.
Powell's work in Northern Ireland included a long stint as a staunch Ulster Unionist MP, a long way from the summit he'd set out to conquer.
I end in political failure, yes. Mine has ended in failure from one point of view. Without a seat, without office, without apparent achievement, but I've achieved a good deal, and I hear my voice coming through in what is said, and I see myself being proved right.